Thank you to the crew, cast, and beta readers for your feedback and help with this project. It means so much to me. Chapter 1. Down the Magical Had. It is a normal day in Fontaine. Busy as always. The kids are running around. The robots are making sure that there aren't any criminals roaming around. The Steambird is working on their next story to add to the newspaper. You get the deal. At a small round table near the Café Lucite, the famous magicians Lenny and Lynette are sitting down drinking tea that Risley had sent them as a gift, with their younger adopted brother, Fremine, and his little clockwork penguin, Pears. The magicians were both on break and didn't have anything to do, so they met Fremine there to hang out and just talk and have fun. However, Fremine was just kind of bored and didn't know what to talk about, so he was trying to hide the fact that he was reading a fairy tale book that he just got from the bookstore in Fontaine. Of course, his siblings knew that he loved fairy tale books, but he just felt embarrassed by it, so they never said anything. Meanwhile, Charlotte has been running around in the background, looking all over for someone. Lenny noticed Fremine was reading a book while drinking his tea.
Hey, Freminette. What are you reading there?
Fremine froze up and didn't know what to say.
I am reading,
Fremine was about to speak, but he was interrupted. Charlotte ran up to the trio, accidentally knocking some people over and some things off the table.
Oh my gosh! Lenny and Lynette! I finally found you guys!
Lenny and Lynette sighed, overwhelmed most of the time when she's looking for them, since she's probably doing a story on someone or them, but they kept calm and started talking to her.
Well, hello, Miss Charlotte. And what do we have the pleasure of seeing you here?
I'm doing a news story on you guys' last show. Can I please get an interview?
Charlotte asked excitedly.
Well, Miss Charlotte, we're kind of busy for a while, so we can't.
Lynette is drinking her tea in the background with a straight face.
Yeah, Lenny and I are spending time with family, and we have lots more work to do.
Fremine is sitting there in silence, ignoring everything as he is reading his book, which Charlotte noticed.
Oh, hey, Fremine. I didn't see you there. Have you got any new parts yet for Monsieur Verite?
When Charlotte started talking to Fremine, he jumped and quickly hid the book he was reading in his chest and holding Pears in front of the book.
Huh? Oh, hi. Yes, I've gotten the parts for Monsieur Verite. Whenever you're not busy, you can stop by my workshop if you want. Or you can leave it here and I'll start on it.
Fremine said with a little blush on his face from embarrassment.
Ah, I see. Well, I'm on a tight schedule, so when I need to leave, I'll...
Charlotte noticed him holding a book and was hiding it.
Hey, what you got there?
Charlotte asked, referring to the book. Fremine then blushed a little more. He was a little embarrassed that he was a late teen, young adult, still reading fairy tales. So he tried to make up a lie, but failed.
Well, it's,
Fremine, you're about to make up a lie about your book, aren't you?
Lynette suddenly spoke up, asking. Lenny, Fremine, and Charlotte turned to Lynette. Lenny was very impressed, while Fremine is surprised and slightly embarrassed. And Charlotte became even more curious.
You're right.
Charlotte was very confused, but brushed it off, excited, wondering what book he is reading.
So cool! So then what are you reading? I bet it's an awesome book.
Well,
Fremine felt really embarrassed, so he put on his landing helmet.
Sorry. I don't feel very comfortable talking about it.
But...
Let Fremine be. He may not want to answer the question right now.
Lynette spoke up. Charlotte felt disappointed.
I understand.
Charlotte said, sighing. The area around them fell silent, because Lenny knew that Fremine felt embarrassed by his interest in fairy tale books, but he stayed silent. And Lynette wasn't going to force him to say that he was interested in fairy tale books either, till Charlotte finally broke the silence.
Well, Lenny and Lynette, Please do consider an interview, but I do have to head out, so I gotta go. Here, Fontaine. I'll stop by later.
She hands Fermine her camera, and Charlotte runs off, leaving the duo, Lenny and Lynette, just watching her leave. As Fermine called up, feeling really embarrassed, he didn't really know what to tell her about the book. He's brushing inside of his helmet, feeling really upset, as he puts the camera down on the table.
For a minute, are you alright?
Yes, I'm fine.
Fermine said, putting the book down in his lap as he removes the helmet, putting pears on top of the book. Lenny smiles at Fermine.
For a minute, it's okay to be shy about what you like. Right, Lynette?
Lynette nods.
Right, Fermine, you shouldn't feel embarrassed with whatever you like.
Fermine sighs and puts his book on the table, but in the background, there were two people laughing at him.
Did you see that? That blonde guy hanging out with the magician siblings there is reading a fairy tale book. So childish.
The girl said.
I know, right? That guy really needs to grow up.
The other person said. Lynette gave them both a death stare, and they were both very afraid and ran away. Lenny and Lynette turned to Fermine, who was looking very upset and embarrassed by them laughing at him. Plus, his siblings now know about him liking fairy tales, but they already knew. So he held Pears tightly for comfort.
Ignore them, Fermine.
Fermine nods, looking down at the ground with Pears in his lap.
Right, don't listen to them. You don't have to stop liking fairy tale books because other people want you to.
He said, putting a hand on Fermine's right shoulder. Fermine sighed with a frown on his face.
I know. Everyone tells me I shouldn't read fairy tales because they're childish. And I didn't want people to think of me like that, including Charlotte. But opening up a fairy tale book makes me feel like I've been transported to another world, with fun and amazing things happening. And if anything bad happens in the story, problems can be solved easily. It just makes me feel sad when people tell me I should grow up.
He closes his eyes for a few seconds, wishing people could understand him. Lenny sighs and smiles, removing his hand off of his shoulder.
Hey, cheer up, little bro. Those people just don't understand you.
Lenny said, trying to comfort Fermine. Fermine sighs and hugs Pears tightly. Then Lynette puts her hand on his left shoulder.
Maybe you should just go do something else to get your mind off of it.
Lenny nods, agreeing with Lynette.
Yeah, I agree. I think you should calm yourself down, and so you don't continue to worry about it. Plus, if you need something to cheer you up, you can always come to me.
Fermine looks down at Pears with a sad face.
I guess so.
He got up, grabbed his stuff, and put them into his bag, then walks to his workshop far away from everyone else. Along the way, he started to think about what happened. He tried to move it aside, but it didn't work, so he let the thoughts play in his head. When he made it to the workshop, he started working on Monsieur Verite, while Pears is next to him. He sighs while messing with the mechanics in Verite.
I wish people could see me as a person and not a childish kid. And then I can be like my siblings, more popular and responsible.
Fermine sighs as he lays his head on the table with his eyes closed. When suddenly, he heard a sound of Pears' mechanics. He jumped and looked at the table, but Pears and Verite were gone. He panicked and looked all over the table area for them. He couldn't find them. When he heard the sound again from behind, he looked behind him and noticed a human rabbit girl that looked like Charlotte, holding both Verite and Pears. But Charlotte ran off before she noticed him, which caused him to panic.
What? Hey! Give Pear back!
He called out nervously and panicking, trying to grab Charlotte, but failed.
I'm late for the interview!
She said, panicking. He was on his feet and ran after her around Fontaine. Lenny and Lynette saw him chasing after her with Pears in her hand, and tried to catch Charlotte too, but they just couldn't, because she was too fast. Fermine tried to corner her, but Charlotte ran past them somehow. Then Charlotte ran towards Lenny's hat without warning.
Catch it!
He said as Lynette nodded as they were ready to grab her. However, they failed to grab her in time, and Charlotte jumped into the hat with Pears and Verite. Hermione looked scared and panicked as he ran over to Lenny's hat. Lenny grabs his hat and looks inside. Of course, it's empty. But something's wrong. Where did she go? And Lenny seemed very worried. Hermione, who's having an anxiety attack, noticed them also starting to panic and runs over to them.
Please don't panic. Charlotte didn't say when she was stopping by and took Pear. There has to be a way to get Charlotte to appear again. Right?
Charlotte appeared out of Lenny's hat and they noticed her. Hermione ran and tried to grab Charlotte's arm, but Charlotte disappeared back into the hat. Pears and Verite weren't there either. Hermione sighed in disappointment. But while he wasn't paying attention, Charlotte grabbed his arm and started pulling Hermione into the hat. Hermione's eyes widened as he started to panic, as he couldn't get his arm out from the hat.
What? Guys! Help!
Hermione, hold on.
They both said, running and grabbing onto Hermione. However, when they grabbed onto Hermione, no matter how hard they tried to pull him back, they couldn't. And they got pulled in too, being swallowed by the hat, before the hat disappeared and reappeared on Lenny's head. But now, Lenny and Lynette and Hermione are now falling in this mysterious-looking area, cave, fast, with stuff falling around them, like magic cards, bottles of some type of liquid, books, and actual furniture, like tables, chairs, and lamps, etc. Hermione froze. He didn't know what to do. Plus, he couldn't find Charlotte, so she disappeared again with Pears. As they were falling, Lenny and Lynette's fall seemed to get slower, and Hermione noticed something.
What the?
His siblings started to disappear in front of him, with this, glitter magic around them. He was starting to panic. Where were his siblings disappearing to? He thought, as his anxiety got worse as he was falling. He was alone now, and no one was there to help him get Pears back. His hair was floating upwards because of how fast he was falling. Suddenly, the fall became very fast, and Hermione just kept falling as he couldn't move, until suddenly... End of chapter 1.